how to be financially free by the time you hit 40. And yes, it is possible. You may not have the dollars in your pocket right away, but it is totally possible. So I want you to listen up real close. Waiting or planning to retire at 65, that's fine, but it's a broken plan. And you don't want to wait for 4 decades when you're in your 20s to be able to enjoy your life. To me, that's a terrible plan. And it feels like, as I talk to a lot of young people, it's anxiety-ridden, it's stressful, it's overwhelming. To me, they feel like it's a prison sentence because they're trying to budget and do all these things that seem overly restricted for them. And even if you are winning, it never feels like winning because the finish line is so far out. But you can become financially free by 40. You can put all the things in place, and you don't have to be some sort of tech bro or a crypto gambler or someone who got lucky and won a bet or hit the jackpot. I'm talking about normal people, normal everyday people with normal jobs just like you. And what we want to do is this. There's always a catch, and some of that catch is you got to stop playing the game by the old rules. And what I want to talk to you today is about the exact strategy that I have personally put in place to get from wherever you are right now to owning your own time and owning your own choices and owning your own financial freedom. And what does that even mean? So what does financial freedom even mean to you, right? Most people that I talk to, they think financial freedom means I generate all this passive income, I'm sitting on the beach not working, and the money's just flowing in. And to me, it's a fantasy. It seems totally ridiculous to me. The reality is, or what I feel like financial freedom means, is working becomes optional. You're not relying on your paycheck to survive. You're not panicking or freaking out when you get a flat tire or there's a $500 copay for a medical expense. You don't have to stay in the job that you are in if you don't like it, just because you need the healthcare benefits. And you get to say no based on what's best for you, not what info is forced and jammed down your throat. And so here's the key. This is not some distant dream, and it's not reserved for people that get in their 50s and 60s. I'm in my 50s, and I have done it actually a few years ago. And if you have the right plan, you can set up your financial freedom before 40, even if you feel like you're not going to get there, you're starting late. Because here's the thing. You don't actually need the money till later because you're probably going to keep working in your 40s and 50s anyway, just like I do. But the way you have to figure all that out is finding out what is your financial freedom number. So you got to get real about that number, and you can't hit a target if you don't know what it is. So let's figure out what your financial freedom number is. And again, I talk about my 2 moms all the time. My stepmom is worth lots more money than my actual mom. But because my mom lives in a pretty low budget lifestyle, doesn't travel, enjoys just a handful of things, she doesn't need the kind of money that my stepmom needs to live the life she likes to live. So how do you figure this out? The idea would be, if you know what your monthly expenses are, what is your rent or mortgage payment? What is your food bill? What is your insurance? What are your utilities costs? All those kind of things. And you multiply that number by 12. You'll get what your annual cost of living is. Now, we want to add in probably at least a 25% buffer for things like inflation and taxes and things like that. And that would be the amount of money, or you need to ask, how much money would I need invested to generate me an income passively? So for me, that's money in your 401k, your Roth IRA. It's me owning rental properties or my property management business if I didn't have to do anything there. Does it all generate enough revenue for me to live the lifestyle I want to live? So if you figure this out, and let's say your overhead's $3,500 a month times 12, which is $42,000, add a little buffer in, and you need 50 grand a year to live the lifestyle you live. For some people, that may not be enough. You might want to make 50 grand a month, not 50 grand a year. But if an average return was 7%, $50,000 divided by 7%, you would need roughly $715,000 invested in the markets in order to generate enough revenues for yourself to live the lifestyle you want to live. Now, I know my number's bigger and your number might be bigger, but your financial freedom is the number of dollars you need invested so that you know your money is working hard enough to generate you an income while you sleep. And yes, 715 might seem like a big number, but I promise you, if you start young enough, my daughter just started doing this, right? We paid attention. She put $7,000 in her Roth IRA when she was 23. She put another $7,000 in there when she's 24. And I said, let's go to mortgage I always say mortgage calculator because I'm a realtor, but let's go to the investment calculator. And if you keep doing that from 23 to 33 to 43 to 53 to 63, you'll have roughly between $5 and $6 million, which is dramatically more than the $715,000 you need to do. And what's great is your percentage of what you put in there is like 5% of the money, and it just grew and it compounded, and it is crazy how that number works. And I hope this is motivation for you young people to say, if I'm willing to make some sacrifices at the beginning, there will be massive amounts down the road. Now, she might have a bigger number, but she'll have $1 million in there when she's in her 40s. So by the time she hits 40, she technically is financially free. She'll keep working, she'll keep investing, she'll keep doing the things, but that is how the whole process gets started. And so what is the formula? Here are the things you have to do, and do them as young as possible. And the biggest predictor of if you'll win or not is your savings rate. And that means you're pulling money off the top, and then you're saving some, and you're investing some. And ideally, I tell people all the time, if you could do 20% off the top, great. But as you make more, what you don't want is lifestyle creep to start to happen to you. And maybe you can start investing 30, 40, even 50% of your income and keep your lifestyle the same while you're young. And I know for me, when I was young and I was married young and I had kids young, you weren't really doing a whole lot of extra stuff anyway. You were watching kids and making dinner and doing homework and all those things. So you didn't really need to dramatically increase your lifestyle. I mean, maybe I needed a bigger, fancier car or something because I was traveling with kids, but you don't need to do anything crazy as far as that stuff goes. The next thing, which we always talk about, is building multiple income streams. Well, if you have a job, that's one income stream. If you do a 401k or a Roth IRA, it is an income stream. It's not putting money in your pocket that you could spend right now, but it's a long-term income stream. If you're putting savings in your high-yield savings account, or you're putting money and buying your first home and then you keep it and buy your second home, you can create multiple income streams. But also for people that are looking for side hustles. I'm not a huge side hustle guy, but if you do some house sitting or dog walking, or I'm in real estate, so I'm able to get some side jobs for my kids once in a while, you can make some extra money. But unless you want your side hustle to eventually be your main gig because you don't like the job you're in now, I always think, talk to your boss and figure out what things you can do to try to make more money in your current job. That's how you're going to increase your income stream, okay? The third one is you want to invest early, you want to do it automatically, and you want to do it aggressively. And when you're young, we can start talking about exactly what you should invest in. But if all you ever did was invest in low-cost index funds, mirror the S&P 500, and you're not trying to time the market, it's just putting money in the market, let it be there for a long time, and I promise you it will snowball through your 20s and 30s, and you will have massive amounts of money down the road. Like I said, go look at that investment calculator. My daughter, starting at 23, if this is the only thing she ever did, she'll have between 5, 6, or more $1 million down the road, okay? You want to own assets, and you want to not just buy stuff. So ask yourself this question, all the time. Does this help me build up wealth, or does this help me drain my wealth? And that's how people will know whether that's something good to buy or something not. So obviously a new car loses value. A rental property long-term will generate income. If you buy fancy clothes, they go away. If you buy index funds, they're going to grow. So you want to make your money able to help you buy back your time. So I'm able to buy back my time by hiring more people to help me in my real estate business. It is an asset. So I have a business and I have multiple other assets. Anything that isn't generating money or going up in value is a liability. And where all this starts to change for you is your mindset. This part is everything. You can't win this game with a broken mindset. You can't say you can't do it. And here's what has to change. And I hate using some of these words, but it has to. Don't flex in your 20s. Don't buy fancy cars and fancy watches and fancy houses. You want to start building. You want to not waste a bunch of money looking rich. You actually want to spend money getting yourself rich. And we talk about a book. It's an old book called The Millionaire Next Door. And it will show you how or what people typically look like that are millionaires. Most people, you wouldn't even know that they're millionaires. We just had clients buy a house for cash for $1.6 million. And if you met them, you'd have no idea they were rich, okay? You want to delay gratification. To me, getting to that financial freedom is much more important than have fancy stuff. The peace of mind that it gives me is more relevant, what makes me more happy than trying to have fancy things. And again, if you sacrifice a few things now, you're going to win later. And that later will come a lot sooner than you think, because you might be financially free and you have no doubt why you keep working. I mean, think of some of the wealthiest people on earth. It's like, if I had billions of dollars, why do they keep working? Because they enjoy it. It's what they like to do. And again, we're not talking about getting to billions. We're talking about getting to the point you can live a lifestyle where you feel good with no stress and no headaches. So again, I can't remember who said this quote, but the quote was, live like no one else now so you can live like no one else later. I heard this at one of my real estate conferences. I need to figure out who it is so I can give them credit. But again, I don't want you to try to fit in or keep up with the Joneses or do all these fancy things. The idea is to get financially free. So financial freedom isn't luck. It's a formula that you can start with, that you can work on. And again, some of the things we talked about in the formula today were helpful to you to build up that long-term plan. So work the formula. Let me know what your next move is, what you're going to do first. DM me, tell me, I got started. Here's what I decided to do. And again, it is not that hard to figure out because again, it's all about winning in the long term. So maximize that savings rate, build multiple income streams, invest early, aggressively, and often, and own assets, not stuff. And sorry, I wanted to look down at my notes so I wouldn't forget to tell you exactly what it was. So do those things. If you have questions, reach out to me, subscribe to the channel, watch the videos. Hopefully this is helping you out. And I'm happy to talk to you anytime. We're going to put some classes together soon on exactly how to do this and give you a little more specifics. But get your mind right, figure out where you are currently, and let's help you win at the game of money and finance.